Okay, if you've ever tried to make an AI video, you know that feeling, right? You type in a prompt, you hit generate, you cross your fingers, and you just hope for the best. It feels a lot less like being a creator and a lot more like playing a game of chance. But what if you could stop gambling and actually start directing? Well, today we're going to break down a framework that gives you total creative control. For most people, using an AI video generator is exactly like playing a slot machine. You pull the lever, you generate, you hope. You don't get what you want, so you pull it again, and again, and again. You're just pulling that lever over and over, hoping you'll eventually hit a jackpot you can actually use. This isn't just inefficient, it makes any kind of serious creative work, well, pretty much impossible. So let's compare that chaos to a much better way. The old way, that's the frustrating loop. Generate, hope, regenerate. The new way is a real workflow. You establish your vision, you direct the AI with total precision, and then you create your shot. It's about turning that lottery into a reliable tool that you are in complete control of. So where do we start? Well, the first step, and honestly the most critical one, is establishing what's called a foundation image. And this isn't just some random picture you start with. It is the absolute bedrock of your entire project. So what exactly is a foundation image? Think of it as your project's single source of truth. This one single image is going to define everything. Your character, the aesthetic, the mood, the theme, all of it. Every single picture and video clip that comes after this will be based on this one perfect shot. Let's make this real. Check this out. For this project, the goal was a female Viking in a really gritty, snowy world. And this image, it just nails it, right? The hyperrealism, those dark colors, that determined look on her face. This right here is the aesthetic anchor for everything else. And I cannot stress this enough. The stakes are super high at this stage. It all spawns from this one image. Before you even think about anything else, before you even whisper the word video, you have to get this foundational step absolutely 100% right. Perfecting this image is non-negotiable. Okay, so once you've locked in that perfect foundation image, now we can move on. The next phase is all about creating basically endless variations in camera angles, all from that single source. But here's the big question, right? How do you go from one image to a whole bunch of them without everything falling apart? You need the character, the scene, the lighting, that gritty vibe. It all has to stay the same. Otherwise, you just end up with that weird AI slop we've all seen. The answer, you'll be happy to hear, is a shockingly simple 3-step process. First, you pick the camera shot you want, maybe from an online prompt library. Second, you just copy the simple prompt for that shot. And third, this is the magic part. You plug in your foundation image as a style reference. So here we are again, back to our source of truth. Every single shot you're about to see was generated using this exact image as the main guide. And bam! Just like that, all we did was tell the AI Dutch angle and show it our reference picture. And look at what we get. The character's identical, the mood is the same, but we have a completely new, really dynamic camera shot. Let's do another one. High-angle shot. And again, the consistency is just perfect. The AI gets the entire aesthetic from that reference image, so all we have to do is tell it where to put the virtual camera. And one more for good measure. Bird's eye view. So now we've just created 3 totally distinct cinematic shots, all from one starting image, and all with perfect consistency. And you can do this over and over to build out your entire scene. So your prompts can be incredibly simple, and that's because the foundation image is doing all the heavy lifting. It's describing the tone, the scene, the lighting, every little detail, all of it. You don't need to retype hyper-realistic, gritty female Viking in a snowy forest every single time. The image just tells the AI, hey, make it look like this. All right, we've got our look down, and we've got a whole library of consistent images. Now for the final step. Let's see how this all comes together to give us that pinpoint control over the actual video motion itself. To really master motion, you just need to understand 2 key things: start frames and end frames. And yeah, it's pretty much what it sounds like. They're the first picture of your video clip and the last picture. Using both gives you explicit control over how a scene begins and, just as crucially, how it ends. Now, that end frame, it is an absolute game changer. Just look at the left side here. When you only use a start frame, the character completely morphs into someone else by the end of the clip. It's a mess. But now look at the right. By giving it both a start and an end frame, the character stays perfectly consistent through the whole movement. That is control.
And the workflow for this is super easy. You give the AI your start image, you give it your end image, then, and this is a really cool trick, for the actual text prompt, you can ask another AI like Claude or Gemini to describe the movement between those two images for you.
And what you get back is a prompt with all these amazing technical terms, like a slow cinematic rack focus pull. I mean, it's language you might not even know yourself. This gives the video AI a much clearer, much more professional instruction than if you just typed, make the background blurry, then the foreground clear. And that's it. That's the whole shebang. You now have the complete framework. So let's just do a quick recap of this powerful three-part director's toolkit we've just assembled. First, you nail down your foundation image. That's your single source of truth. Second, you use that image to create infinite variations in camera angles, all with perfect consistency. And third, you direct the final video motion with total precision using start and end frames.
You are officially no longer playing the slot machine. You now actually have all the tools and all the frameworks you need to stop hoping and start creating any kind of cinematic AI video you can possibly imagine.
The only thing left now is for you to figure out what story you want to tell. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. You're the director now. What will you create?